Good afternoon. Um, Today is Thursday. I've been to London, but I didn't take the camera with me because where I was going, when you walk in, they search you and they actually take cameras away from me. And the chap that went in front of me, he was searched, and why he'd got a bottle of shampoo, I don't know. Why does anybody have anything with them? He'd got a bottle of shampoo. The security chap took it away from him, gave him a receipt and said pick it up on the way out. So I didn't take my camera with me, which was a bit of a shame really, because the room that I was in had got some very, very nice furniture, very expensively made furniture, but something that really caught my eye was a great big long black rod with a bronze casting on top of it of a lion and a unicorn and a badge. And I said to someone, "Oh, that's old," I said, and they said, "Yes, it is." And then they walked off without telling me how old. However, I'm home now, back to the Faber Glassworks and farm, and I've been for a constitutional stroll up the hill, and I couldn't help it. I went in some shops and I picked up a book. Actually, I picked up two. We'll start with one. Look at this. Brave Deeds by Brave Men. And we see all about the tragedy of General Maude, whoever he was. Oh, here's something very, very brave. Don't you just love these pictures? That's an old woman selling cakes in the ruins of Verdun. Now, as luck has it, I've been to Verdun. I didn't see any old women, but I did see plenty of cakes. So, there we are, that's a book. That's sort of quite... Oh, look. Lord Kitchener, dressed as an Arab. Yeah, okay, that's one. But the second one I was very, very pleased to see, because I have a friend, just the one. No, that's not true. I've got lots of very, very good friends, but it's a good joke, isn't it? I've got friends. Well, anyway, he, through not exactly through a choice, he found himself obliged to sit somewhere where the only thing to do was read books for rather a long time, and one that he regrets that he doesn't still have. But he quotes from it from time to time. Now, I used to have a copy of this. I had a little one. And there's some cracking good stuff in here. Alas, that spring should vanish with the rose, that youth's sweet-scented manuscript should close. The nightingale that in the branches sang, ah, whence and whither flown again, who knows? I will read this. There's a serious risk that I'll quote bits of it at you. This is me getting up in the morning. Awake! For morning in the bowl of night has flung the stone that puts the stars to flight. And lo, the hunter of the east has caught the Sultan's turret in a noose of light. Look at that, that's a rather... That would make an interesting stained glass panel, wouldn't it? Okay, but the best is yet to come, because I thought as a celebration we should have a party, and no party is complete without music. It's all right, I'm not going to play guitar, not today. Bill Haley and his Comets, Rock Around the Clock. What a find. For those of you that like this sort of thing, this was in a record collector's shop that is just at the end of my road, and I walked in, started looking at the 78s, and the chap said, pull them out, have a look, have a look. And then he said, I haven't put prices on them. And I saw this and I picked it up. And I said, how much for Bill Haley Rock Around the Clock? And I expected him to say £1 million or, oh, that's rare or something. What he actually said was, give us a couple of quid. And with it in my hand and a couple of quid in my pocket, it seemed silly not to pick it up. I shall go and play this shortly. But of course, if I play it for you, then I get slapped with a copyright infringement. So just imagine, you know how it goes. 1, 2, 3 o'clock. You know how it goes. Right. Enough. I am going to go and cut some lead and see what progress we can make, because it's all very well making nice little panels, but you'll remember that this all started with a desire to repair some leaded light windows. And of course the problem that I had was I've never worked on leaded light windows. I'd never cut glass successfully. I'd never soldered lead. I'm not very good at it. Actually, the glass seems to be fine. I seem to have just by accident click. Apparently I can now cut glass. Very pleased about that. The soldering lead, it works, but it's not pretty. I need practice. And with all of these things, I think that's what you really need, is just to practice, practice, practice. In my life, I've watched a lot of different tradesmen, craftsmen, and when you watch them, you know, they carry on the conversation. They say, oh, I'll just snip this here and I'll just stick that there, and you never quite see what it is they're doing. But they start with a pile of toot and they finish with a beautiful job. And they all seem to sort of pick up a length of solder and a soldering iron, and they sort of go dink, 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 and it's done. I think it's going to take me a while to get like that, if I ever do. But one thing I do know is if you don't practice, you never will. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the afternoon, messing about with some lead window frames. Now, somebody did put a comment on one of my videos, and it's a very sensible comment. He reminded people that lead is a dodgy old metal. It can give you various troubles. You know, apparently your teeth can come loose and your hair can fall out and you go mad, and you can die an early and miserable death. When working with lead, if any of you decide that that's what you want to do, remember, cleanliness really is next to godliness. All of the muck that is generated, any lead filings, anything like that, dispose of them carefully. If possible, clean them with a damp cloth, because there's always problems. If you attack it with a broom or a brush, you do throw it up into the air and then you'll breathe it in. I'm not frightened of working with lead, because when you boil it down, I'm going to be spending a little bit of time doing a little bit of work. I don't, as you know, I tend not to use power tools, so I don't create great mists of lead dust. I prefer using hand tools, that's just me. The main problems occur where you've got an industry, where a man is working in a lead-laden atmosphere 8 hours a day, or chromic acid, or any of those other lovely things that industry uses. So I'm not scared of it, but I am careful with it. You know, I wash my hands. I don't sort of, I don't leave lead lying about where it's going to get into food, where it's going to get blown into the atmosphere. You know, just be sensible with it. Cleanliness, sweep it carefully so you don't stir it up. Yeah, when you think it's clean, you know, damp cloth, throw the cloth away with the contaminants in it. Just be careful. Right, okay, that's enough. Gabbed enough. You don't really want to hear me. Much better that you go and watch Cutworm playing with his Herald, or Dal Pratt sharpening knives. What else could we go and watch? Could go and watch R Peak not selling the big Ford. Good afternoon to you all.